Hey YouTube, what's going on? It is Izzy Seiko here again today, and we are going to have a little discussion about the state of Yu-Gi-Oh! And when I say the state of Yu-Gi-Oh! I mean the state of the TCG, the game that we've all been playing for years and years and years. What is really happening to the game? As I stated in a previous video, I've been playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Since probably about junior year in high school. I'm 24 now. That's a really long record of playing this game. Even prior to that, I used to just throw, I used to put 60 cards in a deck back when I was playing in middle school. I had no synergy, just a bunch of random cards, and I would just put shit on the field. We weren't sacrificing, we weren't tributing for anything. We didn't know rulings, we didn't know spell speeds back in the day. So that was really how we played, and it was fun. That was the real reason that we played the game. We got together around a table with a bunch of our friends, and we said, yo, let's play Yu-Gi-Oh! So I think that's what really drew me to the game, is that it was just so different. You could put whatever you wanted together in a deck, and it was about your friends creating something different, something out of the ordinary that was not seen. So you couldn't wait to go to locals to show everyone, the new combo that you had created, or the new strategy that you created to get over a big monster that you lost to in a previous match. Now, today's meta does not allow for that creativity. We see the same 3 or 4 decks over and over again, and it's like you don't really get a break from seeing things. And I think I really realized this with the Nekroz format. It was just like, what are you playing, Nekroz? What are you playing, Nekroz? What are you playing, Nekroz? And it was just like beating yourself in the head with the same deck over and over again. And then when the ban list comes out, everyone's like, the ban list is going to make this more balanced. The ban list didn't do shit. The ban list hit 1 or 2 cards, made it a little less playable, but in reality, people spent $300, $400, $500 on this deck, $600 if you're getting the highest rarity, and nothing really changed. And this is something that yugioh players have dealt with for formats. So I guess today I'm just going to touch on things that I love about the community and about the game. Thank you, Konami, for these many, many years of fun and excitement and dead packs. So I guess I can start with Yu-Gi-Oh! For me and what I have experienced through the game. So I guess my first serious career in Yu-Gi-Oh! Started in Brooklyn. I started going to locals like The Stand, locals like KG, for their weekly tournaments, and just for play after high school. We would walk down from Sheepshead Bay to these locals, just a couple friends and I, to play test art decks. And this is when I started playing Batteryman, which was a deck that was already all cut out for you. You have your microcell, you have your charger, your Batteryman D, as 9-volt was not out at this time. And aside from that mini core and your spell core of battery, charger, and short circuit, you had the ability to add whatever else you thought in that deck was playable. So for us who didn't know, we didn't know that we were supposed to play card a safe return. We didn't know we were supposed to play all these good cards. Like, what made a card a card? We didn't really know that. So we just went out and started digging through these common boxes and looking at whatever we could find. And then Mermail came out, and we were like, oh, well, thunder monsters. Let's put some thunder monsters in there. And then we thought, Thunder Dragon. Okay, so let's throw these 3 Thunder Dragons in there to thin out the deck. So we're just creating like new and innovative ways to try to thin out this deck and to get our monsters on board and do things like that. And then Lightsworns hit. And I think for me, Lightsworns and Dark Arm Dragon were the first experiences I had with the fuckery. And it's just like, how do you beat something like this? Now, you beat something like this by completely crafting a deck that goes against that particular deck. So no longer are you playing a deck that you want to play, you're playing a deck that is anti-meta. And that was my first experience with anti-meta. You have to find a way to get over all these monsters that get pitched and then summon themselves. You're like, what the fuck am I doing? This is not fun. And I feel like that took away a lot of the fun that I was having with this game. And people can say, oh, it's because you're a bad player. If you can't get over this, you can't get over that. The point is, if you create a deck that's fun, that is an original idea, chances are that deck is not going to have the outs you need to play against the meta deck. And that's just the truth. It's the sad truth, but that's just the way it is. And like, I feel like that's one of the biggest problems I have with Yu-Gi-Oh right now, is that a lot of the fun has been sucked out of it, and it's more of a chore. You know, you have that one day where it's locals, and do you really want to go out and play? Yeah, you might want to get a box, you might want to get a few packs, you might want to see some friends or settle a score you have with somebody who beat you at the last tournament. But you're not going to see anything new. You're going to see the same decks. You're going to see Blue Eyes. You're going to see, you know, ABCs in the future. You're going to see all of the same things that you're seeing all format. So, I feel like Yu-Gi-Oh has lost a lot of the novelty, the fun parts of the game, and it's now become a day job for some people. Here in New York, not as much as back in 2011, where Yu-Gi-Oh was a lot of the way that people made money to eat. Like vendors in Chinatown selling cards for $1 and then going to get dumplings. It was kind of a way of life for us. It was a bit of a cult following. You wake up in the morning, you head right into CT, and you stand in front of Ikis and Maxes with your book. And right before anyone goes in, it's like, what are you looking for? What are you looking for? What do you got? Got trades? You got trades? And it's like, got trades was like the motto for all New York Yu-Gi-Oh players. Got trades? And you pull out your book. And going into that, it's kind of about money and how you portray yourself in Yu-Gi-Oh, which is why I decided to wear this sweatshirt today, because it's so funny that, you know, you have to present yourself in a certain way that makes you worth people's while. Like, if you walk into locals looking like a scrub and you have no book and someone says, yo, you got trades, and you pull out a small 1,000 count box, or you pull out a plastic bag or whatever you could have afforded, and people will immediately think like, oh, that's a scrub. You could be the best player in the world. If you don't have the right gear, if you don't have a double deck box, a monster deck box, and the right sleeves, and you know you're using old dirty sleeves from like jank God knows when last November, no one's gonna take you seriously. You have to have that fresh binder with the Supreme sticker on the front. You have to have the freshest deck box that's nice and clean. You open it, you can still hear the Velcro just snapping up. Like, it's about how you look in and how you portray yourself to the community. Myself as a female playing Yu-Gi-Oh, I've never had that issue, because I could be the shittiest player in the world and I can walk in, I don't even have to have a deck on me, and I can just sit down and I can be watching a match and people will say, oh, you play Yu-Gi-Oh? So I get a pass. Apparently, I just get a free pass. And I know this, and I know it's not the same for a lot of you male players out there. You know, it's a very judgmental game. And for a time, I want to say maybe 2 or 3 years ago, I stopped playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And I went over to Vanguard, because I just felt like the community was so much more warm, and people were more open to meeting new people and to experiencing new things, whereas the Yu-Gi-Oh community is so old and jaded, and it's just, there are no new players. Nobody just picks up and says, I want to learn how to play Yu-Gi-Oh now. It's all of the same people who have been playing this game since 2009 and back, and just quit the game, keep coming back and forth, because they find that it's a way of life, and it's something that they want to stay up on. You know, they may quit and they'll come back after the ban list. And it's a countless amount of people that I've heard say, I'll play after the ban list. And there's no reason why you should quit a game that you love, you spend hundreds of dollars on, after the ban list, because the format is too broken. It's ridiculous. And I think that, like, I don't know how to rekindle the community really, and make everyone less jaded. That's a job for Konami. That's a job for everyone in themselves. But the community may not be dying, but it is, its heartbeat is very low. Walk into any locals and you really don't see many exciting things. Everyone looks like miserable unless they're with their friends. No one goes to a local by themselves to play. You're easy bait. You're gonna get juiced if you don't know your values. Like, it's kind of a bad time. Well, what else do I have written down here? It's toxic, yeah. We touched on that. The fact that here in New York we have a severe lack of locals, in my opinion. We have, I think, 3 locals in Brooklyn, which are the Stand, which I haven't been to in years, so I don't even know if that's still active. Next Level, and King's Games. Now, whether you like those locals or not, I know a lot of people have problems with KG, or haven't even heard of the Stand, or just go to Next Level to play Street Fighter. These are the locals we have in Brooklyn. As far as Manhattan goes, we have, I think it's called Xeno Zero Gaming in Chinatown that opened sometime last year, I believe. But that wasn't there for a while. Hyde had just opened that shop. So we had a complete wipeout of all Yu-Gi-Oh! in Lower Manhattan, which was kind of like the nest for it, where you had all the shops. You had Iki's, you had Max. Unfortunately, you had Nebulous, and all of those places shut down. And if you didn't have money to pay entry fee for those places, you could always play in the park. You go to the park now, it's just old Asian guys playing checkers. So that part of the community is dead completely. And as far as Bronx goes, I believe there's Mel's. I don't know if there's any other places in the Bronx. And Queens now has Card Quest and Dual Zone, I believe. I think Dual Zone is what it's called, yeah. So all in all, we have 3, 4, 5, 6 locals. And correct me if I'm wrong if there are any others. But the lack of locals and the travel in itself is enough to deter anyone from playing the game, because there have been times where I want to play test and I live in Harlem. I don't want to go all the way to Queens because it's an hour and a half ride. I don't want to go all the way to Brooklyn just to see KG, and maybe there won't even be people that I want to play there. There won't be, friends there. I have to email or message 400 people to just see if they'll be there or not. It doesn't have the same feel, and it's all back to like the original nostalgia and the reason we played the game. So if we don't have that, like, just what are we really playing the game for? Like, what are we spending $70 on a box of cards for if there's no one to play with? And I think that's the main issue that I have with Yu-Gi-Oh! And I keep repeating it, and I keep restating that, because if the community is toxic and the community is dead, what are we playing for? And what are new players joining us for? Because it's just not fun. If someone buys a trial deck and says, hey, teach me how to play, and you're like, nah, I gotta buy this round, sorry, I gotta wait, like, no, you're not there to be anyone's Yu-Gi tutor or teacher or whatnot. But how do we expect this community to flourish and embrace new players who may be good once they learn, if everyone is so fucking jaded? And I mean, there was once upon a time where everyone would come in to play, and everyone had different deck ideas and everything was fun, and you can go with your friends and say, yo, we play Yu-Gi, do you play too? And you don't know what this person's playing. So it was fun. You're like, oh, whoa, Dark Dust Spirit, what are you gonna do with that? Or, oh, hey, it's this card. There were staples, but the staples were like MST, Sakuretsu armor, pretty much that's it, like rare gold armor, and things that you could use in any deck that were truly, truly splashable. And now everything is like a $40 staple. So you're not good unless you have this $40 card. And it's like, oh, you could play without it. People go, why are you playing this? Why don't you play Strike? Maybe they don't have Strike money. Maybe they're not that invested in the game. But because of that, you're immediately branded as a bad player or a budget player. And the whole issue with net decking, it's like, how do you shit on someone for net decking when all of your decks are the same? What do you change? You may not have gotten a net deck, but you definitely went to locals and said, oh, that's what that deck plays? Okay, cool. So I need 3 of this trial deck. I'm going to put 15 of those cards in that trial deck and use all 3 copies and have a deck. So what's the problem with net decking? If people want to play a certain deck and they don't know how to build it, and they're certainly not going to ask you because you're a condescending asshole, why do you patronize people for net decking? Like, if this is an original deck and an original concept that no one else has created before, yes, I see a problem with someone going online and stealing someone's original creation. Whereas if Konami makes a whole archetype specifically for that deck, and a person goes, I don't know which numbers I should play, let me see what other people are playing, and they take that offline, what the fuck is the problem with that? There's no problem with that at all, because all of yous do it, and it's not a big deal. I feel like everyone wants to just jump down someone's throat, and I just wish that we could get back to the family that we all had once upon a time, where people from Jersey and people from like Texas and Cali, they were all, playing and creating their own shit. And then you go on a group. We didn't really use Facebook vending, and all that shit wasn't that heavy back in 2011. It was more all in person. But those people would be on Facebook like, yo, look at this deck that I created. Look at this video. They take their phones and they just play, just because they wanted people to see what they had. And now, why do you want to watch a match? You want to see how someone plays this one deck. How do someone play Nekroz? How does your play style of Nekroz work? Like every other fucking play style of Nekroz. What new play style of Nekroz do you need to learn? Because once you've seen one, you've seen it all. And I say that meaning once you've seen one good player play Nekroz, you should have a general idea of how to play Nekroz. And all you and yourself need to do is practice that deck and practice those moves and practice those counters and use your mind when you see someone else playing, and you will know what the fuck you're doing, because there's really nothing new about it. I mean, that's the situation. That's the current state of Yugi, and I just wish it would get better. And there's nothing you can really do about it, but it sucks. And I will continue to play online. I don't think I'll be playing in real life, just mainly because I'm tired of seeing the same shit. When someone creates something new and exciting and fun that will bring me back to that original reason why I play the game and why I spend money to play the game, and I spend money for new sleeves every tournament, and I get the nice deck box, maybe I'll play at locals. But like, as of now, I'll pop in to say hey, I'll pop in to see friends, but I'm not bringing a deck with me. There's no reason. Everything that I can see in a locals, I can see online in a feature match. So I guess those are my thoughts, and this video was requested by a personal friend on Facebook, so that's for him. And if you enjoyed watching it, like, comment, share, subscribe. Let people know how you feel about the current state of the Yu-Gi-Oh community in the comments below, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.